This is Oman FM.
Good afternoon, Muscat. How are you all doing? We're here on the Unsaid show on 90.4. I hope you're all doing okay out there. And today we're going to talk about something so interesting. But first of all, let me hear how my colleagues are doing. How are you guys doing?
Hi everyone, I'm Sahar and I'm doing okay today.
Good, good.
Hi everyone, I'm Tamsyn Pereira and I'm doing great today.
Okay,
Nice.
did you guys dream of anything last night?
Yeah.
Do you remember your dreams?
I actually did. I was thinking about how I don't remember my dream from last night, but I was thinking about how when I was a kid, I used to get the same recurring dream of my dad, like the moon coming down in my grandma's backyard and my dad getting into it and then leaving. And whenever I bring this up with them too, they would assure me that
They're not
your
leaving.
dad's not going anywhere. But I had that dream recurring as a child, and I remember one time as an adult, I was awake, conscious, and I remembered it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Something triggered it,
interesting.
and I remembered this dream, and then it brought back all these memories. But it's interesting how dreams affect
Today
you.
we'll talk
Yeah.
more deeply about that. So today we'll talk about dreams. So we'd love for you guys to call us. We'll talk about dreams and the subconscious mind. We're going to gear more into dreams and a bit of subconscious mind. Then I think later on in more episodes we'll deeper into subconscious mind. So if you want to call us on
Call us on 24949493.
and remember, dreams are made from I'm not sure. Let's go to the break and come back. Thank you. back on the Unsaid show. We're talking today about dreams, and we thought this would be a really important topic because a lot of it actually is to do with the psychology. And maybe a lot of people will think, what's psychology got to do with dreams? We're going to tell you today what's the link. So scientists have been looking for years about dreams and why does it happen. Some people say it's witchcraft. Some people say it's very scientific. Some people go, well, we don't know what it is, but it just happens. So do you guys remember the first time you dreamt? This is a very difficult question.
I don't remember.
No.
And do you guys remember what you dreamt last week?
No.
Yeah.
Unless it's a really bad dream and I've told someone,
Yes.
then I remember
Or
it.
you wrote it down.
Yeah, but otherwise I don't. I don't even remember what language I dream in.
Remember we talked about this once on our show that we actually don't, realistically, we don't know what language we're dreaming in. We think we know, but clearly we don't know. Is it, for me, for example, is it English? Is it Arabic? What is it? But I know that she said this and I said this, but what language it was, if you look into it deeply,
Right.
you actually don't know.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing is that lots of things that happen in our day interfere our dreams if we didn't process it. So, for example, we talked about Tam talking about a dream that she used to have a lot with her father. That's something maybe because you're worried, you're very close to your dad, maybe you're worried about it. But also if we wanted to do something and it didn't work out, usually we dream about it. Does this happen to you guys?
Yeah. And also there is a theory, it says that we have collective memories, we have collective symbols around the world,
Yes.
no matter what is your culture, but we all have those similar dreams. Let's say falling down, having this experience of losing one of your teeth, or feeling that someone is chasing you,
Oh my
an
God,
animal.
losing one of your teeth.
Yeah.
And the one that you feel like you're falling, you
Yeah.
actually feel your body jerks.
I
Right?
had
Yeah.
that so many times
Yes.
since I was a kid till now. It's interesting that these are typical, familiar dreams for all of us. They are collective, but the meanings are very different because whatever we see in our dreams are unique. They
Yes.
have something to do with our internal, personal, private life.
Yeah, and a lot of people were mesmerized by scientists who explain dreams.
Yeah,
In
interpretation.
every culture, it's something huge to okay, I had this dream, and then you call someone or you look it up in a book, or now we can Google it.
Yeah.
What is a dream? And it's like the worst scenario. But having a person to talk about dreams, there's been so many books about it as well. Did you buy one of these books once, Tam, or read articles about
I
it?
just Google it.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is my best friend, so I Google all my dreams.
Yeah.
But I I've heard this a lot as well from just personal experiences and from clients we all see as well, is whenever you're an overthinker, and I'm a chronic overthinker, those manifest into your dreams as well. So you might not remember all of it when you wake up,
Yeah.
but that definitely has a huge factor.
Yeah, and you know what we do when we have a dream? We quickly want to tell someone before we forget it. Do you
Yeah.
notice? Or we
Yeah.
write it down.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's very clear and very vivid.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes actually, I remember I'll tell someone a dream and they'll say, oh my God, don't talk about it. Like, it's not good.
Yeah.
Or don't talk about this certain thing. Just ignore it. And you think, why?
Do
I
they
really
think it'll
want to
come
know.
true?
You know,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
there's some symbols, as you said. People around the world sometimes don't want to bring up about how they dreamt about it. But when it comes to psychology, of course, we have Freud, who is my best friend, by the way, even though he passed away, but he's my best friend. And he has so many ideas that some people don't like, but that's life. You can't like everything. Anyhow, he's written so much about dreams and the subconscious mind. Of course, he has lots of other theories. Some are interesting, some are a bit like what's going on. But he talked a lot about it. And I think it could be because he saw it a lot in his practice. As we know, hypnosis is one of those things where we also use, in our clinic, and it helps a lot with knowing that subconscious mind that actually puts you to sleep,
Yeah.
and you say things that maybe you didn't even know. So call us in. Tell us what you think. We're going to continue this talk today. It's going to be quite interesting. The number would be
24949493. Call us and tell us how is your communication relationship with your dreams.
Yeah. And we'll have a short break and we'll be back shortly. dreams, isn't it funny that sometimes you'll dream of something and then you'll wake up and then you go, oh, I want to continue the dream. I want to see what's going to happen. It's like a series, but you can't go back. Or sometimes you're in the dream and you're like, oh, this is really bad. I don't want to. I want to change the channel, but you can't. There was this joke about people who wear glasses while they fall asleep so they could see the dream clearly. I found that very interesting. But, scientists, as we said, looked into it and what is the reason? Why does it happen? I'm going to give you guys some of the ideas and you tell me what you think about it. So one of them is we need to process information. So sometimes there's not enough time in the day. So our brain feels, wait a minute, I didn't finish. So it continues at night. What do you guys think about that one? Do you think it's might happen?
Yeah, I agree, because I feel like there are things that
unresolved
businesses that we have in our daily life and we don't have energy, time, or we are not ready to face it. We prefer to postpone them. But because we know we can't remove feelings and those confrontations, and at night we are busier than a daily life, and that's why some of the times you wake up in the morning and you had 8 hours of sleep but you still feel tired.
Exactly, because your brain has been really, really busy
working.
And you're trying to finish a problem, a solution for a problem, and you can't do it except in the subconscious mind. And it's quite interesting. I do believe on this point that you're going through something, you want to face someone, but you can't because of whatever reason, and you just dream about it. And in the dream, you are doing everything you want to do if you were awake. But then you wake up and you go, oh God, it actually didn't happen.
That was just a dream.
That was just a dream. The other thing is, and this is more into Freud land, desires. So sometimes we have certain desires, certain needs, and it can't happen, for whatever reason. So we dream about it. That's also one of the things that could happen. Could be totally different types of desires. So it's not like a specific one. And I think that's also something that happens a lot. Like if you want to be a successful person, or if you love someone, or also if you miss someone. I always say, thank God for dreams. Because even if you don't have someone who's passed or you miss or whatever, you actually can dream about them. And it's so real that it gives you a bit of time to, process that. What do you think about that, Tam?
That's interesting. I was just thinking about how usually when we're anxious, for anxious people, that kind of, if it's not processed during the day, that manifests in your dreams, and then your dreams are all over the place and you feel a lot of anxiety. But I was also thinking, when you just said the desire part, what about people who are anticipating good things? Like, what if I'm going on vacation next week and I'm dreaming about it? So it works both ways. I think it's not necessarily only things you haven't processed. It could be things you're looking forward to and excited about as well.
And sometimes I personally used to feel this, used to think if I dream something, that the opposite will happen in reality. And there was a time where it used to happen. I'm like, oh my God, I'm manifesting these ideas. Like I'd be so happy in the dream. I'm like, oh my God, now I'm going to wake up, and then the day becomes really bad. I'm like, that dream was such a lie, kind of. So also, I don't know, it's weird. I think dreams also have to do with personalities as well. It could be because it is you. It's your brain again. Definitely. And that's the other theory, that the brain electrolysis or the brain movement works also when you're sleeping. So all those kind of electrolysis and stuff that happen in your brain, also that's one of the reasons why you dream. So I'm guessing that's why they used to wear those, those helmets a long time ago, those brain stimulators, and put wires in it. It was mostly when they were asleep. So and also there is actually in hospitals even now, there's a sleep lab. I don't know if you guys noticed that. And they put all these things, wires and things in the body for them to see what happens when the person sleeps. I always thought that would have been the most oddest video to watch of a person, because I think I must look really weird when I'm sleeping.
I think like dreaming and sleeping is a mystery still now. There are so many psychologists, scientists who have a huge debate on what is dreaming. Biology has something to do with it, psychology, science, and our memories. But they all agree that our subconscious mind is like a database. It's like a Google database that you search something, and then you go to that safe box that you have all those feelings, desires, conflicts, and then you represent all the stories, all the memories, narratives that you have in your mind, and you try to make sense of all the maybe irrelevant things that you have in your
Exactly.
mind.
And yeah, sometimes dreams are really irrelevant. Have no sense at all. But also it happens from external, that's another point, external things that happen around us. So for example, today we're here and we heard a song. And then for some reason we'll hear it when we're sleeping in the dream. Or we'll watch a movie.
Yeah.
Or we've seen something, someone wear something, then we dream about it. So also the things around us, the external factors also help us in our dreams as well and affect us also in our
has an
dreams.
impact.
Yeah.
What about, so we talked about the before process, so like things that are not processed during the day manifest in those dreams. What about if you wake up from a bad dream or a good dream? How does that affect the two of you for the rest of your day?
It affects you not so well. I'm sure when you have a bad dream,
Yeah.
you kind of, it depends again on you as a person. Are you superstitious? Like, oh my God, my whole day is going to be bad. Do you really believe in dreams? Because not everybody really believes in dreams. Is it a time where you want to believe in dreams? Sometimes you need that hope or whatever. If it's a bad thing, then, oh my God, I knew it was bad. I knew this relationship was a bad one in the beginning. So it really depends on how you are as well. The interesting thing which I saw was two last points. One was that it cleans your mind, which is quite interesting. I just imagine there's little people in my mind in the room.
Working.
And the one that's quite interesting is it's therapy. Did you ever think of dream as a therapy?
How so?
Because basically the things that you haven't done in the daytime and you dream about it, there's solutions in there. So sometimes you wake up going, oh, maybe I should talk to that person, or maybe I should stop talking to them, or maybe I should go for that job, or maybe not. So it helps you with your emotions.
Yeah.
And it also is a way to let out emotions. Like if you're angry, I dealt with it where? In my dream.
That's a nice perspective.
Right? So it's quite interesting how therapy actually goes in everything. And that's why we do hypnosis, I guess, because clinical hypnosis, unlike people think hypnosis is like the movies, like Sahar, go to that bank and steal that. It doesn't really work that way. The clinical one is very therapeutic. And that's why when we talk about hypnosis, we talk about how it's important for the person who does it to be very qualified, because you could be stuck in limbo. So there is also guided meditation and things like that can help, and there's lots of apps. I think Calm is one of them as well.
Because they all put the emphasis on how to prepare yourself for a good sleep, for a good time to have rest. Otherwise you will go with all the things happen during the day, and then you have a lot of things back stored in your safe box. Imagine the combination. So it's good to prepare ourselves for a good sleep.
Another thing we should definitely talk about is revenge procrastination, because that's basically you not having enough time for yourself during the day, so you procrastinate going to bed. I do this too. I'm guilty for it. But just scrolling through my phone, not reading a book, not, setting the vibe for before I fall asleep, not slowing down my brain. I'll be watching TV or being on my phone. And so my brain's activated then, and then I try to fall asleep when I'm so tired and I can't keep my eyes open anymore. So it's not as intentional when I'm going to bed. I'm not preparing myself to process everything that's happened throughout the day and then fall asleep. And I think a lot of people do this. I'm looking at both of you as well.
No, because recently I've been talking about phobia from sleeping. And that's interesting, and maybe we can talk about that some other time. That brings insomnia, that brings so many other things. But let's go for a break and we'll be back with more information.
This is Oman FM.
So, I wish we always have sweet dreams. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Like that song, Sweet Dreams and everything. You know, when we go to sleep, there's so much stages that we go through. Of course, we don't know because we're asleep. And again, the sleep lab, the people who study people who sleep have recognized these stages. And not every time it works at the same time. Some people, again, it depends on how you are, how your body is. If you notice, some people, they just close their eyes and they're gone, right? And some people take forever. You know, some people need to read something before they sleep. Some people need to do a ritual before they sleep. But when we go to sleep, so first we're awake, obviously, before we go to sleep. Then it's light. Then it becomes deep. Then it becomes the REM. Now, the REM sleep has also 3 stages. So it's the normal non-REM. That's the, of course, REM is rapid eye movement. And then there's the REM. Then there's the deep REM. And not everybody goes into that stage, by the way, the deep one. But that one is like baby sleep. So babies are always in the deep, rapid eye movement. It's quite interesting that even that has stages to it, and a lot of us maybe didn't even know that.
Very interesting. Yeah. And there is something else, lucid dreams.
Yes.
Which is about the vivid dreams that you know that you're dreaming. So this is not a real life. You're like an observer who's seeing things
that happens
happening.
A lot, right?
That happens a lot to me. And actually that's a good thing because sometimes you can interfere. And it's like a practice. In your dreams, you're practicing those difficult confrontations, those difficult situations that maybe you're scared to go for it in the real life. So in dreams, you practice how to be there, to show yourself, you know, how you can present yourself. And maybe it's a good thing to look at it in this way.
Again, it's therapy. It's like you're looking at the problem and you're trying to fix it instead of being in it sometimes. And that helps a lot to know what's my next step. And it's funny, some people even, I've actually tried this, to tell you the truth. I tried this, I remember when I was in my 20s. So I would think of something a lot before I go to sleep. I'd read about it and look at, like, I tried it as an experiment. I was in uni, and it actually works. You actually automatically dream about it. It's quite interesting. It's like you condition your brain. So then that point about, you know, the external factors, that if you really, really dream about it, you can. You really think about it, you can't dream about it. There's a bit like when you say, if you want a dream to happen, you have to really, really work hard for it. It actually happens when you go to sleep as well.
That's interesting.
I've
been reading a lot about animals dreaming as well, because I think when like a lot of researchers studied human dreams, and then they went on to see if animals can also dream and what they're dreaming about. But I think it's just such a vast topic.
It is.
And we would never know what they're dreaming about.
No, never.
Never. It'll be always like unknown.
You know, as you mentioned, some people are scared of dreams and sleeping because sometimes they have, you know, nightmares, they have bad memories coming up, those people that they don't want to see them again. But I think it's, if we dream about those situations or those people, it seems like we need to do something for it. Otherwise, it will happen again and again and again. That's why sometimes we have repetitive nightmares.
That's true.
It's with us for how many years?
And it doesn't unlock until you find a solution to that nightmare, which is quite interesting as well. And what about the people who sleepwalk?
I sleep talk.
I'm
always
afraid
of
sleep.
When I was younger, I was always afraid I was gonna say something that I shouldn't be telling anyone, like, oh, I snuck out, or I ate that junk food. And my family would tease me about that all the time, but apparently it was just gibberish.
It was just gibberish. I think we should ask the listeners if they did that as well. If you could tell them the number,
please give us a call on 24949493 and share your story with us.
Let's go for a break. we're back on the Unsaid show. Today we're talking about dreams and the subconscious mind. We'd love for you to call in and tell us what you think about it. And we'll give you the number again.
24949493.
So do you guys remember when we were kids and we would watch a scary movie and then we would dream about it? And
Yeah.
we would dream about the boogeyman coming to take us. There's actually a movie in the cinema now called The Boogeyman. But the idea of the boogeyman was always at night and was always in your dream. And I know I did when I was small. That if I watched something scary, I'd definitely dream about it. I remember watching something about a woman who was taking drugs, and she really looked, for some reason they made her really scary, the way she looked, like really, you know how the old films really grayed around her eyes. I was like, and I remember just dreaming that this woman's going to take me, and it stayed for a while, and then it just, it just disappeared. So a lot of times I think, okay, if I watch a horror movie, I'll watch it in the daytime. But even if sometimes it visits you.
Yeah.
I know, Sahar, you're not a fan of horror movies.
Yeah, because it robbed me 2 months of sleep. Although I was a kid when
So
I was.
this is interesting, yeah.
For 2 months I couldn't go to sleep, even in the day, because I had this feeling that if I close my eyes,
It's gonna come.
so all those pictures, all those memories will come up again.
And that's exactly what dreams are. They're
Yeah.
images, sounds, pictures. What was the movie? Do you know?
The Exorcist.
Oh no.
Yeah, Exorcist was a bit funky. Actually, after I saw it, I told you guys a story. For years, my friend was like, watch it. When I was really young, I'd just hear about it and think, oh my God, it's so scary. And then I watched it when I was in uni. I was like, really?
Yeah.
By then, of course, it was old and outdated probably, but it was ridiculous how it was so silly when I watched
But
it.
I was so kid. I was so small. I was 8, 9
but
years
that's
old
how
when
we
I
were all
watched it.
scared of that. Actually, The Exorcist is the first
Horror movie.
horror movie, not the first horror movie, the first kind of realistic or something, because there is black and white, the vampire and all that, but that was the first horror movie of its kind,
Because it was based on a true story.
and it was based on religion.
Yeah.
And and there is exorcism.
Yeah.
So that was like something. What about kids and how do they deal with dreams?
I think the most incredible thing about humans is our imagination. So even for me as an adult, like just like you, Sahar, like I've watched scary movies, and even now sometimes I have to have a lamp on in the room. I'm admitting this on radio, but
Yeah.
but you see things in the dark, and then your imagination runs wild, and then that kind of manifests in your dreams as well, and then you end up having scary dreams. But I've had a kid client before really worry about him being awake wanting to hurt somebody because that's what he would dream about. And then, digging through therapy sessions, we ended up finding out that he had actually watched a scene of a scary movie when it was playing on TV. And that's where the fear stemmed from. And all we had to do was just talk about it and look it up and see, that it wasn't actually real, that it was CGI and it wasn't actually a ghost.
Yeah.
And to see reality rather than just running wild with our imagination. But for anyone who's listening, if your kids are having nightmares or they're uncomfortable with their room, I always say make sure that your kid has a safe space.
Yes.
So if you feel like, okay, I'm seeing shadows in my room, then move furniture around, get a lamp, make your room smell nice, so that stage of your child going to sleep will transition into having a good day the next day as well. And it's not re-traumatizing them over and over and over again, because I think this happened to this child for months and nobody had any idea why, and they thought he was going to hurt someone, when in reality he was just curious about it.
Yes. And it's interesting because a lot of kids do come to the clinic with that kind of fear of the boogeyman again. And for years, it's been something that's always happened. And it happens up till today.
Yeah.
It's interesting also if a person actually didn't tell his parents that I watched something. You know how kids like go and sneak and then they're like, oh God, if I tell them then I'll know. So they're stuck between, two rocks and they don't know what to do. So if you ever feel that way, even as a grown-up, don't feel shy and think, oh God, I can't talk about it. People are going to laugh at me. But if things like that have happened, talk to someone about it, because it could be really, paralyzing certain things in your life that you're not doing because you're scared about it.
And I think the reaction of people is very important when you share your dreams with them. Some of the times they would say, just forget about it. It was just a dream.
Yeah.
Go ahead with your, routine and distract yourself with something else.
Exactly.
But it's in your mind. And if it is very bold, it means that maybe there is a message. You need to receive that message. Otherwise, you will revisit the fear again and again. And I think we should be aware of how we react when someone is telling their dreams to us.
But sometimes somebody tells you their dream and you're in that dream with them and you're not good. That's scary. Like, and you were telling me off and you're like, but I didn't mean to, but it's a dream. But that person at that moment was really upset, and it could be something that, you've told the person the daytime and they've actually made it, it blew out of proportion while they went to sleep. But this has happened quite a bit, and somebody goes, you were in my dream yesterday, and you're thinking, how was it? Was it nice? Was it good? And you're like, and sometimes it's good, sometimes you're saving, sometimes you're not.
Yeah.
So that's has it happened to you guys?
Me, my sister has had so many dreams of like me in her dreams, but I've died in all of them.
Oh God!
And when I was younger,
that means your life is gonna be long. So the other way around.
I hope so. Touch wood. But when I was younger, I thought, oh wait, why am I dying in all these dreams? And I had a bit of fear. Growing up, I realized that my relationship with my sister shows that she's very protective. So in her dream, she was constantly trying to protect me and keep me safe. I still died in the dream, but it was really interesting to understand our relationship as well when someone dreams about someone, and to understand how that relationship takes that dream forward.
That's true.
And plus that sometimes, I don't know, have you experienced this before or not, you have a dream that is mixture of irrelevant people, like as a group. So I had my dad, I had my neighbor, I had one of my teachers, and they don't know each other, and it's very irrelevant in different ages. And it's good to remember that sometimes it's not necessarily about that person, because they're just there in your dreams to represent something. Maybe, for example, your teacher is a symbol of power. Your dad is a symbol of that, masculine part of your personality. So those symbols and messages are more important than the images you see in your dream.
And some people take it as religious. So if they dream of somebody that passed away, they think, oh, maybe if the person's happy, they're okay. But if the person's not happy, they go, okay, maybe I need to do sadaqah, I need to give out something, I need to do something good. And then sometimes it's scary when the person says, oh, I dreamt of somebody calling me to go with them. Like, don't go. You don't want to go there. So dreams are very informative. They are part of our life, and they're very important to talk about emotions, to talk about how to express our anger or our happiness in different ways. Let's go for a short break, and we'll be back shortly. So we're back on the Unsaid show. We're talking about dreams today, and we wanted to say something about dreams. Isn't it interesting how some people deal with their daily lives with what they've dreamt? Like that becomes their thing. So if they dreamt that the dream was bad, let's say I dreamt today I fought with Sahar in my dream. I don't talk Sahar all day. I'm like, you fought with me in my dream. Or if I dreamt that something really bad is going to happen somewhere, I don't go there. Have you guys heard or read about this?
Actually, this happens a lot between couples. When one of them is dreaming about, the other one cheating, then based on that, they will not talk to each other for a day or for a week. And then they feel like, no, there is something that I'm dreaming about. So there must be something real about it. But actually, when you read, like psychologically, when you dream about cheating in your relationship, it seems like you need to work more on your intimacy.
Exactly.
Vice
Again, it's
versa.
therapy. Yes, it's therapy. But some people might say, see, even in my dreams, he's bad. He's a bad person, or she's a bad person.
Yeah. I think when people look up dreams as well, they will take it as they read it, which is not a very good thing. Like, for example, if you have a dream about losing your teeth and then you look it up and then maybe the first article is not a good article and it says, oh, someone next to you is going to die soon. Imagine someone who is very anxiety ridden and paranoid.
It's really bad.
That would be a terrible day for that person, because then that's going to just snowball into even more paranoia.
And these are triggers.
Yeah.
It could attack people with OCD really bad.
Yeah.
So again, we have to be aware of this, that this does happen to some people. So when people talk about their dreams and then we ignore them, maybe we should just wait a bit and just listen, because that ignoring might hurt them even more and make the idea even, more solid into their head. Lots of movies, lots of arts, lots of songs. We've got lots of songs today. We talked about dreams, but one of the movies that really sticks in my mind is what's it called? Inception.
Yeah.
Not Insomnia. Inception. I'm sure there is a movie called Insomnia too, but Inception was really
one of those movies.
really weird. And it was only again when they go to sleep and then there's a whole new world. There's this other movie, I'm not sure what the name is. It's an Arabic one actually, and every time this guy sleeps and he wakes up, the day repeats again, and sleeps and wake up again and again. So every day he does the same thing every day. So there's been so many movies about dreams and
time
time and all time lapse and all of that stuff.
I read this super creepy post one time. It really messed with my head. But the question on the post said, what if all of this that we're experiencing right now is actually our dream? And then when we go to bed, that's us being awake. And it really threw me off. It really ruined my sleep.
And because we are 80% in an unconscious, 80%, that's very high. We're only awake 20.
That reminds us that picture of iceberg.
Yes.
That we just see that little small part which is showing, but the rest is under the water, and we are that deep ocean that we need to sometimes jump in, dig deep in and see what's happening inside.
But a lot of people won't understand. They're like, what? I'm awake. Like, it's not only that, it's about, are you here? Are you here with me right now? Or are you thinking of other things? Are you thinking what you need to go and do? And that's when we talk about mindfulness. So 80%, I think I read that. Don't quote me, but I memorized this for years because I found it shocking. And 20 only that we are awake.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I want to ask a question to the listeners, and then we'll talk about this. But is there any particular show or movie or podcast or music playlist that you listen to over and over again before you sleep? So we'll talk about the psychology behind it. But people who repeat shows and music and things like that do it because they're anxious people. And so nothing's new in the show, right? They already know what to expect.
It's hypnotic.
Right, exactly. And so I think that sometimes people do the opposite, though. They would watch something that they know is going to affect them negatively because they want to distract themselves from something else in reality.
Let's go for a quick break and come back then. We have our last break. So we're back on the Unsaid show. We're talking about dreams today, and we were wondering, what do you guys think about dreams and about talking in your sleep, walking in your sleep, external factors, REM, all these things that are quite interesting and a part of our life, and everything that we have in our life is important, and dreams are very important. So do you guys think today you're gonna sleep differently because we talked about dreams?
Definitely.
I'm going to overthink about what I'm going to overthink about.
Yeah, you asked a question, Tam, right? So we would love you to call. This is the last part. You can call us on 24949493. So Tam asked if you watch a specific show
Shows
or
or
a podcast.
To make you feel upset.
Yeah.
The other way around.
Yeah.
To feel negative, to redirect your attention from a pain that you're not ready to face it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's
'Cause-
interesting because before I used to read books before going to sleep, and then I was reading a research and it said it's not good 1 hour before you go to sleep to read a book or listen to a podcast
It's stimulating
that's
your
giving
brain.
you new information, because you already have enough information to go to sleep with. So it's better 1 hour before you go to sleep, try to have that kind of, guided meditation to press the pause,
Yeah.
stop your mind, and
It's
give
because it
a rest.
stimulates your mind, right? Like we
Yeah.
said today, but also depends on what you read. Some things are calmer.
Yeah.
So it depends. But people now read a lot from the iPad, the
Yeah.
iPhone. That's something that is not recommended because of the light. Also, even if you dim the light on the phone, the way it's written, it's not the same as a real book or a real article. But we're so happy today to talk about this. It was quite interesting, different. And maybe a lot of people will not know how much psychology has got to do with this. And up till today, nobody actually really knows what are dreams. So that was the conclusion of everything that we talked about. People are still researching and are still looking, and that's good, because then we always come out with these amazing new things. So from me, I hope you have lovely sweet dreams today and every day.
Yeah, I would say a lot of answers that you're looking for outside in an external life is within you. So take your dreams seriously and think about them. They have good messages for you.
My advice would be to actually make time for sleep. Don't just wait until last second of, passing out only because you're so tired. So intentionally make time to rest.
That's good. And we always say in the end that
Change begins with you.
Stay safe.